I'm alive cause I'm drinking from them living waters. Right. I gotta get his knowledge to my son and my daughters. My bro Swoley called a play, and I'm Clinton Portis. Running back them precepts cause you know I'm in order. And they don't know I've been through so much.
Because our people don't understand. They think that everybody is out here to help them, right? It's a reason why you run for help to a certain group of people all the time, and it never works out in your favor.
Right.
Right? I had this conversation with some folks at work, and I said, "Yo, Joe Biden, he used the plight of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans getting killed in the street to scrounge up votes, then put a woman in the office with him." How y'all doing? Y'all believe in the Bible? Yeah? We talk to you real quick? Hey, you need to go to that YouTube. Check out that YouTube, bro.
Right.
Don't be on Revolt and Vlad TV all day. Right? Right? Don't do that. But yeah, so we were having this conversation. I said, man, look, we told y'all last year that Joe Biden, he used you. We knew it. Oh man. He used you. He flipped you and got into the office. And as soon as he got into the office, what did he do? All your plight and your death and being killed in the street and George Floyd and everything else went out the window. Asian hate bill.
Right.
Signed something in the law for the faggots.
Right.
Right? Or for the homosexuals.
Right.
For the letter group. Right? Signed something in office for them. Executive order in the first 15 days. And then when you brought your so-called black leaders, you brought your leaders and said, hey man, when we gonna get that sit-down meeting? He said, boom, and closed the door in your face. He slammed the door in your face. And you've been sitting looking stupid ever since. Right? Silence children. What you got?
It's Sirach 6 and 13. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, Sirach chapter 6 verse 13. Separate thyself from thine enemies and take heed of thy friends.
Right. You got to separate yourself from your enemies. Right now, the people that you think that are actually your friends, which are really your enemies, they have to be destroyed, and their society has to be destroyed for you to be liberated. The so-called white man, who is the biblical Edomite, his society has to crumble.
Right.
And you can't see it's crumbling already. Right? If you love sweet Jesus, when sweet Jesus comes back, it's going to be a whole lot of destruction on the earth. And it says that Babylon, which is America, is going to be destroyed.
That's right.
So how in the world do you love this place? Why would you not be speaking against all the atrocities that this place has done to your people?
Right.
Right? These are your enemies. Let me get that Psalms. These are your enemies. So let's go into the enemies of the Most High, which are your enemies also. Black, Hispanic, and Native American.
Con, this is the book Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall redeem you.
No, we're going to be sold to our friends. No, we're going to be sold to our enemies.
Right.
Right? We're in exile.
Right.
These people are not our friends.
Right.
These are not our friends.
Right.
Right? Let me get somebody pull Isaiah 30 real fast for me. Isaiah 30. Right? But our people, we have a thing about always running to our enemies. You got any questions? God dang on Edomite, I tell you. Right? Let me get say 30. Let's start at one. Now this is going into a time with ancient Israel or ancient Egypt, but this is just to show what our people do. People crazy as hell, man. What?
Con, this is the book of Isaiah chapter 30 verse 1. It says, woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me.
Right. Rebellious children, and you take counsel of everybody else outside of the Most High. Right? When you see something written right in front of your face that he tells you not to do, you're going to try to find a way to say, no, we can do it. Like Pastor said, I can do it. Right. No, the book of Hebrews is in the Old Testament, so you can't understand what that's saying. That new covenant ain't talking about the new covenant; it's talking about the old new covenant. Right? This is the type of stuff and madness that you gotta listen to. Go ahead.
This is the book of Isaiah chapter 30 verse 1. It says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel but not of me, and that cover with a covering but not of my spirit."
Right. The spirit that you're using to try to cover yourself, that's not the spirit of the Most High. It's the spirit of Satan. Right? The adversary and the people that the adversary works through, man, he doing his job.
Right.
Because he got y'all tricked out here in these streets. Right?
That they may add sin to sin.
And all you're doing is adding sin to sin. You're walking around saying, oh no, I can do this, and I'm sure I can do this, and just one sin or another, tallying up. And we know this. What's the wages of sin?
Death.
The wages of sin are death.
Right.
Right? Most High say, hey man, I'm put before you today. What? Life and death. Hey man, you better choose life. Nah man, our people chose death. 2/3 gonna go, man.
Verse 2, it says, "That walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh."
Right. Our people at a point in time went down to Egypt trying to get some help. I think during that time was some of the Assyrians, right? Gonna try to go down to Egypt to get some help. But you ain't turning to the Most High for no help. You're gonna turn to your oppressor for everything. Right. But hey, that's a curse.
That's right.
That's in Deuteronomy 28, right?
I see
You're gonna go to your enemy for one of all things. For one of all things. Your food, your clothes, your housing. You're gonna go to him for everything. Your loans, right? But let me show you why this still matters today, even though that was a different Egypt.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 8.
Yep.
And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
Right, because this place, Babylon the Great, is spiritually Sodom and Egypt anyway.
Right.
Right?
Right.
It still takes on that same spirit that the ancient Egyptians had. I mean, look, you can go downtown D.C. You got the obelisk. Look at the back of the dollar bill, pyramid. Right? You can see different cities that are named after Egyptians. Memphis, right? So Memphis, Egypt. That's where it came from. Right? Our people continue to try to go to their oppressor for one of all things. Right? Let me go ahead and get that Psalms 83. Have you done that? Yeah.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 83, and verse 6. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites. All right, it's the book of Psalms, chapter 83, and verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. Oh, sorry. Oh, my bad. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 83, and verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. Verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones.
Right.
The enemies of God, which are your enemies too, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they've taken crafty counsel against you. Right? They have consulted against the hidden ones. You're the ones that are hidden in this society.
Right.
Don't nobody call you the Israelites.
Right.
Don't nobody say that you're God's chosen people. Right? You have no clue your heritage and nationality.
Right.
Most of our people say, yeah, man, I did a ancestry. I'm 15% this, 10% this, 10% that, 15% this. Go ahead, 1% that. I'm really talking about everything. That's a part of the conspiracy in itself. That's the confusion, right? Let me get you got Jeremiah. Yeah, come on.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever.
Right. We're going to be in our enemy's land and not keeping our heritage.
Right.
We're not going to know our heritage. We're going to be lost sheep. Right? We're going to be some dry bones right here in America.
That's right.
Right? We're not going to know we're coming and going in this place. America is not our rest. This is not the place that is going to be built up to try to help the Israelite man, woman, and child. This is not it. We got to deal with our enemy every day, but you need to be prophesying against your enemy, right? Keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments for the destruction of your enemy.
Right.
The destruction of your enemies, that is your liberation.
That's right.
Verse 4. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
You're not supposed to know you're an Israelite. You're not supposed to know you're an Israelite. Go ahead.
Verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. Verse 6. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites.
The tabernacles of Edom, the good old so-called white man.
Right.
The Edomite.
Right.
Right? The Edomites. That's the number one enemy. We got a laundry list of them.
Right.
But them Edomites like, man, we got to make sure these Negroes and these so-called Latinos, right, and these so-called Native Americans don't ever find out who they actually are. Because if they do, man, it's game over. Satan know he got but a little bit of time, right? Go ahead.
So from the top, verse 6. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes. Verse 7. Gebel
Let me go back right. The Ishmaelites too. Right? So think about this. We latched hold of Christianity, which was the so-called white man's religion that he really took hold of and started pushing in the earth. Right? Then the Ishmaelites, who also want the land and think that they're the chosen people, we attach ourselves to his religion, Islam, right? We do the same thing with him. We are a people that are absolutely lost in these streets, living in darkness, man. Right? Then it goes into the rest of the people: Ammon, Moab, the Japanese, right? The Chinese.
Right.
Goes into different African and Hamitic tribes that are not our people. All skin folk is not kinfolk.
That's right.
We talk about this all the time.
That's right.
Right? But the destruction of all these people, but primarily that number one person, the Edomite, because he's the one that controls the earth.
Right.
His kingdom falling, that means that your kingdom is to come, right? In rulership with Yahweh Shah, who the world calls Jesus Christ, right? Let me get First Maccabees 2 and 10. And Isaiah 42 and 22. Right? Our people have got to repent, man. We always talk about the law, statutes, and commandments, but just think right now. Think about how much stuff you wouldn't be caught up in right now with all the things that are going on. All the things that you would be caught up in if you did not keep those commandments. We'd be dealing with jabs, right? We would have got tricked and fooled in elections.
Right.
Would have been sitting inside all this stuff, right? This is what it's talking about, wisdom and knowledge being the stability of your time. It's going to show you, the law is literally going to show you how to shake and move during these times. It's going to show you what you should and shouldn't do. It's going to give you that discernment. It's going to allow the Holy Spirit to deal with you. You know, that's what's going to happen. Got it?
Yeah. Yep. This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 2, and I'll start at verse 9. It says, her glorious vessels are carried away into captivity. Her infants are slain in the streets. Her young men with the sword of the enemy. Verse 10. What nation has not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils?
Right. What nation has not done something to the Israelites?
Right.
The laundry list of enemies in Psalms 83 tell you all the nations have hit a hand.
That's right.
All the nations have hit a hand in our plight.
Right.
Right? Don't none of them deserve no hierarchy
Come
at all. They all deserve what they're getting ready to get.
on.
They all deserve it. talking about, well, there's some good white man. No, there's not. There's no such thing as a good white man.
Right.
Right? You might have some that are slicker and smoother than others, but you guarantee when you go home, you a nigga at home.
That's right.
You a nigga in his head when he's sitting there talking to you.
That's right.
Right? He's trying to find a way to make sure you don't get that promotion. To make sure he ain't got to pay you an extra $10,000.
Right.
He ain't got to pay you that insurance coverage that you got. He's trying to find a way. Right? But with his people, he done taught his people the loopholes. Hey, when you go and do it this way. Right? That's what happens. Because for you, it's to be on the bottom. Because you're serving out your exile. But if you want to get out of this situation, you better return back to the law, statutes, and commandments of God.
That's right.
Right? Let me get, what you got? You got that 42? You got the 42, 22? Yeah.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 42 and verse 22. It says, but this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes.
We are a people robbed and spoiled. Literally, man.
Right.
Our people were the first ones on this side of the earth.
Right.
Robbed and spoiled.
Right.
Right? And then, once they put us in slavery, they say, okay, now you're free. And then, oh, by the way, we changed it a little bit more. We put you in jail, you're a slave again.
Right.
And we're going to make sure all the laws is made to where it's really affecting your community the most.
Right.
Because we need you to go back into the prison system and make the products again.
Right.
But this time we legally doing it. It's a damn devil, man.
But it says they are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses.
Hid in prison. You can go and look at the demographic of who's inside the prisons.
Right.
Blacks, Hispanics, and natives are the biggest population. Right? Make up majority of the prison systems. And America has majority of the prison population of the whole earth.
Right.
This is slavery. This is that we are in the hands of our oppressor. But you know what? For all you brothers that teach that flea doctrine, I want to be found in the hands of my oppressor.
Right.
I want to be found in the hand of my oppressors. Right?
Con, it says, but this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none saith, restore.
Right. We're out here for a prey. There's not going to be anybody that can deliver us out of this except for Yahweh through his son, Yahweh Shai.
That's right.
Nobody else. There's not going to be anybody else that can take us out of this oppression that we're in right now. Right?
Con.
You're not going to be able to go to in this conversation I had. They say, yeah, because you know Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton? What? Al Sharpton? You just brought up Al Sharpton like he was just out there fighting. Listen, man, Al Sharpton puts on a great front. But he ain't going to bring our people out of this.
Right.
Because he tied to the system.
I see it.
Right? He a wicked elder of our community tied to the money.
Right.
He ain't out here to try to liberate us from nothing. He teaches us the same thing that the oppressor teaches us. Right? Let me get that Jeremiah 2 and 14.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 14. Is Israel a servant?
Sacramento.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 14. Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave?
Are the Israelites servants? Are they homeborn slaves? Yeah. Yeah, you can nod your head because y'all the ones that did it.
That's right.
He nodded his head. Listen, I'm cool with an honest cracker.
That's
Right.
An honest devil is perfect for me.
Right.
I love Trump because he showed me how honest he was.
That's right.
But Biden is a devil too.
That's right.
He's just a slick, conniving, old, senile devil.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
See now.
Right? He didn't walked up in a little meeting with y'all and cussed y'all out on YouTube on the little Zoom call and said, "Bump y'all, I ain't giving you nothing right now, and I'll get to you when I get to you." Walked out and went and signed something for some dang on slant-eyed Asians
Right.
in the broke rich community. That's what he did. After he used you to get the votes. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. No, if you do vote for him, you were a damn coon.
Right.
You were a coon, and you didn't realize that the game that was being played on you. You didn't realize it. And if you would have kept the commandments, you would have kept yourself out of that game.
Right.
And you wouldn't be sitting here blind and not knowing what's going on.
Right.
But that's our people. Our people are ready and willing to trust their oppressors because we don't know nothing else. At some point in time, we got to break away from this. How you doing, brother? How you doing? Y'all believe in the Bible?
Yeah.
You do? Do you know that in the Bible, the biblical Israelites are blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? Have you heard that before? Okay. We go read that literature. Go to the YouTube channel. You know, ask questions if you got to. All right. Give a call. Numbers at the top. All right.
That's right.
But we got to repent. We got to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments.
That's right.
It's amazing how many of our people actually know this now. But who's actually making the conversion?
Right.
Right, just the 1/3. That's the only ones making that conversion here in America. Some people scattered in the four corners of the earth. Go ahead.
We'll jump down to verse 22. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 22. For though thou wash thee with nitre and take thee much soap, yet thy iniquity is marked before me, saith the Lord God.
Right. Man, you can't clean yourself up. You can't clean yourself up with your oppressor's doctrine. Right. 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 Ain't no spiritual holy water in that church. Right. You better come back to this word and get cleansed. How should a young man cleanse his ways?
That's right.
Right. You gotta take heed to this word.
That's right.
Right? If you're dealing with homosexuality, you gotta get out of it.
That's
Right.
If you're dealing with these other nations, and you know these other women, let me tell you, man, they're gonna make you go off. Because when you go home for dinner, you guarantee you a nigga later on.
God.
You a nigga later on.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Don't get tripped up.
God.
Don't get tripped up. See, the niggas get tripped up by the ride.
Right.
Right? It mess up their head.
God.
But you gotta understand, she was put right there for you for a reason. To trip your ass up. Right? I mean, look at Solomon. Hey man, he had the wives, he was good to go, right? But he allowed them to trip him up.
God.
Better be careful, man. Be careful. Right, where were we at? You was on that Psalms? No, boom. You was on Isaiah. You had the Jeremiah. Right, let me get Revelation 18 and 10. Right? Look. Go ahead.
Chapter 25. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 25. Withhold thy foot from being unshod, and thy throat from thirst. But thou saidest, there is no hope. No, for I have loved strangers,
Right.
and after them will I go.
Right.
You didn't tell the Most High, man, I love strangers. That's the way I'm going.
Right.
I'm going after the strangers, after the non-Israelites. That's the way I'm going to go. And the Most High is looking like, you big dummy.
Right.
You big dummy. Have you not seen the way these dogs live?
Right.
You want to live like a dog?
Right.
No, man. Why the hell you want to live like a dog? And I told you you was a king.
Right.